It's getting political here. But here's a game that I was gonna talk about armor, and I'm gonna put up a couple of videos on how to play armor, and this is gonna try and cover some more basic stuff. So one of the most important things to know about armor that's almost like a hidden mechanic is that armor can shoot farther. You can test this with your alt key. You click on one unit, see how far it can shoot and what's blocking its vision. But armor can shoot farther than it can actually see units, and it needs like an air player to be around or an inf player to actually be able to see its maximum range and shoot units that are like out in this area. Otherwise, if the other player has vision and you don't, then your tanks are going to be getting shot at, and you won't even be able to see his tanks and shoot back at them. That's why J-Man at the beginning of this match gets a scout chopper. For maps like this that have like really open fields of fire and they're big important armor maps, for heavy tanks you need to buy yourself a scout, and you're going to leave it somewhere around here. If you had like two armor players in a bigger pub, maybe one of them put a scout here, one could put a scout here, and they could spread their heavy tanks out around here and cover this whole area. But in a 4v4, like, you're focusing on the bridge, and he's gonna keep the scout around here. And if he didn't have the scout, he wouldn't actually be able to see all these units and shoot at them. You can see he sends one light tank here. That's very important. You need like to be a part of your caps on your side, so you get that TA. And then he's not gonna suicide across the bridge because other team has a good air player. You don't want to do that. You just want to like defend this area. Okay, he's gonna go for it now, and this map is unique because your units are safe inside the bridge from air. Let's see, our air player's out of position here. That would have been a cap. He's calling for it now, so he might be able to get it. But he's not just gonna blob and suicide. He's gonna try and keep these units alive if he can by backing up, waiting for the repair tank to spawn. Oh, almost saved it. The med tank here is a little unusual. I think he's just getting it maybe to have two units to cap the bridge here. Usually on this map, you're just getting 2 to 3 heavies and then light tanks to go around the side. You can see he has one here, and it's covering this range. And because this inf player is over here, he has vision. You can actually hit this AA all the way back here. And just keeping his units spread out, applying pressure over here, and they should be able to get a cap if they're lucky. This AT will hop out of the building. Oh, so close. But he did get a cap here, and he sacrificed the light tank. Like, light tanks, those are what you want to sacrifice and use for capping because they're fast, they're cheap, and the heavy tanks, you want to keep them back here and keep them repaired and like watch out for enemy air when it comes in and just get them ranked up if possible. Especially on a map like this where it can turn into like an armor slugfest, and whoever gets the ranked heavies can control this area nicely. And this inf is going to give some vision too. Inf and air have the most vision. Tanks and support do not have that much vision. You're keeping this here. Maybe we'll get a fort. That's good. Prevent easy decaps there. And see, like, this support player has to stay all the way back here now because we've got good vision. Like, he knows that J-Man's tanks can shoot here. He's got a nice spread on the heavies. He's like supporting this, making sure that they can't just fort up for free here. He's gonna be able to do a lot of damage. Snipe AA. And J-Man's kind of following pretty much his own rule, which is like usually you only have two heavies necessary, but you want some light units that can get around the flanks and go for caps and stuff. You can see this guy's getting a nice, decent rank on it. He's bringing in another heavy on this map because there's so many places to put a heavy tank, and it's such a wide, open field of fire. Like 3 heavies is totally reasonable. On some other maps, there aren't that many great places to put a heavy, and it's more useful to have just a few more light units for caps and fortifying. You see, he's got, look at this spread. It's nice spread. Got the vision, the scout, and the inf all around here, and we're just like pummeling like this team. This team's tanks and AA. We've been getting some shots in on the inf in the woods. We're trying not to blob too much. It's one of the main things about Quick for new players is they will always blob all of their units into like one group and then fortify a point or something, or like suicide themselves into heavy air. You don't want to do that. Almost got the cap there. That tank buster was like just a hair too late. See, J-Man was thinking about bringing this heavy around, but I think he decided not to because it was a little dangerous. The air lurking and no AA. And when this guy gets damaged, just pulls it back a little bit. You can see like this guy moved his scout chopper up a little bit and he got vision back here and killed Wally. Jamin's gonna try and deny this looked like there was gonna be a decap or something here, and he's gonna try and fort up the bridge more. Keep that protected. He's using light tanks to do that. Light tanks, great for forting because they're cheap. They don't really care if you lose a couple lights here and there. That's what they're for. Might even be able to get a recap here with this hidden inf. That was maybe not the best decap by that guy. Isn't really worth it. And he's got his heavy is like a bit of a dangerous spot here. Yeah. So we just wanted that cap. But unfortunately, Wally was a little too far away. We went for this again. We got that capped up. Probably gonna fort back here now, I would imagine, with that light. You can see now this tank's in general, and it's gonna be shooting much faster. And it's gonna be a huge area denial weapon right now because it's fully ranked. It's just gonna be rapid firing shells. You can see we're not buying any more heavies right now because we're more focused on getting these caps fast with light tanks. Even though we're being a little hesitant right now, I think we're Okay, yeah, we're getting pinged to go for this cap. So looks like we're AFK right now, but that does happen. We might be microing our drops back here. This is a big micro situation with those drops. And Wally doesn't use his mic. So if Wally had a mic, I'm sure J-Man would have capped this faster. We're getting heavy already. It's not fun. We are gonna just barely get this cap finally. See the heavy still alive. Even this light is getting ranked, and ranked lights are decent because they do get faster missile recharge and they fortify points faster. It's not a bad thing to keep a light tank alive if you can in there. You can see Jamin helped out with some defensive drops early on. These are just to deny the enemy team's drops if they come in here. J-Man can quickly take care of those with the direct arty from these airborns. He's fully forted this. He's going to pull this light up here, try to fort that. It's going to slow down the enemy team if they want to go in for a decap or to take the bridge. And yeah, besides like blocking enemy drops if they come in with the direct arty, these also help with the vision. Even though this inf player's got good vision coverage, he has like, I think he's almost trolling here. He's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 snipers, and they're not all in like super useful spots. Like you can see, this one can barely see anything. You really might as well have one here if he's gonna have a sniper to cover the farm. Oh, this one got ranked up pretty high. Yeah. Keep sending the light tanks. Keep forwarding, and he pulled his light back into the bridge here to repair because it's safe from air inside this little bridge. Has a roof on it, and then he can go back and try and get some forts, and then hopefully when the air comes, he'll kind of crab back and forth, hiding in the bridge. He's paying attention. That's why you gotta play zoomed out. Be aware of the enemy air, and he's just gonna get a machine gun for it, and that just stops the other team from being able to decap that point willy-nilly. Doesn't have to stay out there too long. You can see we're getting 2 more light tanks. We're not just gonna buy like random heavies for no reason. Like you want to keep pressuring this, and the way to do that is with the light tanks. But we are gonna have 2 heavies like in this area covering this, keeping AA out of here, keeping the light tanks, blowing up the light tanks as well. We lose that light there. I think that was probably a mistake, like a pathing thing. Got way too many snipers. It's hilarious. Very confident sniper. Buying snipers there. Like regs and ATs like over here would be really useful. Because you're making them focus over here a lot. On this map, you can kind of make USA have to like seesaw back and forth and keep them off balance sometimes if it's done correctly. like pushing here and then like sending like an APC like over here or something. I mean, like snipers do stop this guy from having any hope of getting his inf out over here. See that clutch cap there? The light tank right before the armor. I mean, the air player gets him. Heavy tank wouldn't have been able to do that. It would have been too slow, and it would have been a big waste of a heavy tank. Another one here, just in reserve for this recap here. And that's another 10 TA for the team because Wally and J-Man were both on that cap. Might even be able to get another one here. He's going to go for it. It's pretty low though. And he's actually going to get it, so that's brutal. That's 15 TA because the inf player was on the cap that time too. TA generation, very important in Wick. Looks like we lost one of our heavies. Maybe the air player dove for one of our heavies at some point. I missed it. Try and save this light. Why not? Well, I can generate repair TA from it if it survives.
Unit gone. If you need more units, we can bring them in now. You got casualties.
Yeah, there's not much defending here, just a couple drops. A light tank.
We sent your new units.
I would imagine J-Man's gonna try and send that light over there to help out. And see he's like kind of moving his tanks back and forth until he gets like a good vantage point, good elevation so that he can hit that APC. Something you want to check a lot is like your tank's line of fire. It's not always like 100% accurate, but it's pretty good. So our AA net rumbled a little bit there, middle, but then Wally spotted it, and J-Man was pulling his tank away, which towards the back, and that let Wally get in there. That's what you want to do. You're up solo against an air player as armor. Just got inked, which is bad, but we got the counter nuke, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think J-Man was like, that might be a little close. And it's going to decap the bridge, but that's fine. Because they were going to decap it anyway. Just going to rush in here and decap because the game's almost over. Good squish play there, backing up. The move backwards hotkey is really important to learn how to use because front-facing armor is stronger, so you want to move backwards instead of turning around a lot of the times. And it's faster if you're trying to run over inf and stuff. You don't want to wait for your tank to have to turn around. You just want to back up over him. And I would suggest changing the hotkey for move backwards to something other than its default, which is Shift N, because Shift N is stupid. It's easy to screw up, and you can see there, like, see the air just kind of like appears out of nowhere. That's because there's no vision over here. The tanks couldn't see it until it was like right on top of them. That'll happen a lot if you don't have your air player around or an inf player around to spot the air coming. It'll look like it just comes out of nowhere.
Unit killed. 10 seconds remaining.
So yeah, just a good example of this is a good armor map to show like some basics of armor. You're kind of just giving yourself vision with that scout chopper, and then you're getting like a nice little spread of 2 or 3 heavy tanks, and then you're using light units on the flanks for capping and fortifying, like fortifying the bridge with a light tank or a medium tank, which is what JMM was doing. But you don't generally need to buy light. I mean, meat tanks. A light tank will do. It's cheaper and a little faster, I think. I believe. Yeah, GG's.